Hello! This is week 9 update for the Wim Hof method. So, week 1 was, it was great. It was good overall. I do want to talk about my superpower. I had kind of a weird breakthrough, a realization, but we'll get back to that later in the video. But the first thing I wanted to talk about week 9 was the good and the bad things that happened this week. Good news was I got to go on tour and travel to go on like a kids TV, or not, it's like a kids show to teach them about science. So I was able to make a lot of cash in a short amount of time. We were going up to Philly. So I'm in Nashville, and it's usually about 30 degrees. That's about as cold as it's been getting. But in Philly, it's been getting like 14 and lower. So it was a good time to really test out my skills, my cold, kind of, what I've been training for this whole time, just building up brown fat. So that was really exciting to go to a really, really cold place and see how it went. The bad thing about that, or the bad thing that happened this week, was the very, very end of week 9 or week 8. I fell and I like kind of tried to catch myself with my arm behind my back. I was like, and I slid down the hill and I twisted something in here, did something messed up with my rotator cuff or something. So I wasn't able to do push-ups and the squats and kind of like the holding yoga poses, the more intense yoga poses that I really like. And I've been getting stronger every week. So the bad thing was I feel like I lost a lot of my strength, or some of it, or didn't grow in that area. So I was just trying to focus on healing my little arm here. So what I decided to do was just take it as okay, maybe this is good, and I'll just try and use the cold water to help heal it, and my breathing and the focus. But just try to focus more on using my mind to, withstand the cold in Philly. So that was cool. I was also traveling with 2 other people, and the entire time they were just like, "Oh, it's so cold." And I was out in short sleeves like, "What up? Let's bring it." It was cold, but I could tell that I wasn't as cold as they were. So that was really, really cool to see that I'm no longer, as weak when it comes to the cold. And so another thing that was really cool about week 9, let me look at my notes here. Oh yeah, so I noticed my stress and anxiety levels were way lower. So I've done this type of tour many times for years now, and essentially I'm the projectionist in the back who's like, pushing all the buttons and doing all the, the Wizard of Oz kind of behind the curtain guy. And usually I always have a lot of bit of stress and anxiety, and then the person who runs the show has a lot of anxiety right before the show, which, as she should, but I used to let that affect me. But I've noticed that after doing like all this tons of meditation and breathing and yoga and just exercising and really just growing in my mind and spirituality and everything, I didn't really feel that this time. And I was able to stay extremely calm, extremely relaxed. Even when stress energy was coming around me, usually I would absorb it and let that affect me. But this time, it was like I could just take it and let it just pass through. And so that was really interesting to notice, doing the same thing, the same type of job, but in a new state of mind. So that was another cool thing. And I guess the most craziest part, or no, we'll do the 4th thing that I found out this week, week 9. I've been watching this guy on YouTube called The Evolution of Dave, who also likes to do these weird body experiments. And I saw one of his videos the other day that was like, Wim Hof method is good for the hangover cure, or like a hangover remedy. So I was like, oh, interesting. I could see that somehow. So I decided to test it on out. So we got back from tour last night, And I was like, I'm celebrating. I'm going to go get us some beer. So I went out and got us a bunch of beer. And so I just drank a bunch of them. I had like 6 or 7, maybe more. I don't even know. But I drank enough to hopefully be hungover today. And I was. So this morning I woke up like, oh shit. Yeah. And so a lot of, just a headache, kind of felt like, oh, nausea, like I was going to throw up a little bit. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do all this breathing and stretching and stuff. But I was like, I'm just going to try it. I just got to try it. So I was about probably at an 7 or 8 on a hangover feeling. And so started doing the stretches, the meditation, the breathing, everything. And it hurt. It did not feel good. And kind of, I was upside down at one point doing the headstand, and I was like, oh, I don't feel good. And then went and just felt a whole lot better after doing the stretches. Like, probably went down from like a 7, 8 to like a 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there. And then would just focus my breathing and my meditation on like the back pain kind of headache that was happening, or the whole head headache. And so then I went and took the cold shower, and that is when it all sealed up. So after taking the cold shower, I would put the cold water down my neck and on the top of my head, did the breathing, did some holding, and now I feel fucking great. I feel way better. So I would say I'm probably at like a 2. Like, I kind of feel the pain in my head, but not really. It's like way less intense. So I'd have to agree with Evolution of Dave and say that it definitely helps. It doesn't eliminate it. It's not like a magical thing, but it definitely reduces the feelings, the hangover feeling. So that was cool. And the most important part that I found out about week 9, when Wim Hof goes into week 9, he pretty much tells you to like do these kind of intense breathings and then hold it. And then he goes like, does kind of like this hand motion, like up and then down. And he's talking about a tingling sensation that you generate that goes kind of up like in between your neck, up your neck a little bit, then down through your shoulder blades. And by George, if that isn't, I think that is the feeling of the generating goosebumps superpower that I mentioned in video 2 or 1, week 1 or week 2. I mentioned that I think the tingling sensations that Wim was talking about has something to do with this superpower that I talk about in week 2. And I am one of the rare humans on this earth that can do this prehistoric kind of thing where I can generate goosebumps at any time. And I think what that is doing is sending information through my nervous system to the rest of my body. So this week I just use that, and I can do it really easily. But I'm not sure, and I want to know anyone who can't do it, if they've done the Wim Hof 10 week challenge, if they feel this tingling sensation go through their neck and down their shoulders and throughout their body, because I feel like Wim might be teaching this method to people, but for some reason I can just do it naturally. So this week while I was in Philly, I was just doing it like I'm doing it right now. I'm generating goosebumps, and it's a tingle that goes up the neck, down the shoulders, down my legs, or down my arms, down my legs. So what I've been doing, it's just weird because I feel like I've just gone on this big fucking loop of something that I could already do this whole time. But now that I know what it is, or I think I know what it is, I've been talking to some scientists and doctors up in Boston. I'm going to email them again and tell them my realization that I think these are all connected with the nervous system generating heat within your body. And I talked to them a few weeks ago, and they said that someone else had talked to them about the Wim Hof method and generating goosebumps and how they think they could be connected. So I think this is cool. I think it feels like a bunch of like a big circle jerk or something, but it's taught me a lot, and so I think that's important on my journey. But now I just when I feel cold, I just trigger my goosebumps, and it's really easy to do it when you're doing these deep breaths and holding. So I think it's somehow all connected. I'm not sure. But that's the end of week 9. Going into week 10, watch the video this morning for week 10. Essentially, it's just picking a goal and saying, you're ready. You're ready to go out into the wilderness. And I've already been out in the wilderness. I've been doing this outside. I've been doing all my stuff outside. I've been going out into the wild, into the elements, and getting in the cold degree weather and in the snow, doing stuff. So I think maybe this video course is geared to people who are kind of doing it more indoors and scared to go outside. But I pretty much live outside when I'm at my camper, when I'm not here in Alabama. So I think this week my goal is that I'm just gonna be barefoot all week, so I get the real cold and try to really get my feet up to par, and get that circulation and the heat going into my toesies. And I'm gonna try and walk 2 miles every morning or every day in the cold in just my shorts, rain, shine, snow, whatever. So that's my week 9 update. I know it's a little long, but hey, that's my experience. So yeah, ready for week 10. Super excited about being done with this entire challenge. It's been a lot longer than I thought, and been growing and learning a lot. So let me know if you have any questions down below, and I'll see y'all next week. All right, peace.